Hi everyone, welcome in. How are you all doing? If you all want, you can drop in the chat maybe where you're from or how your day's going.
Doing well. The question is, how do I get my face on this thing?
Oh, there should be like a video camera button or something. Might
Hello.
have to go into settings. Hello.
Yeah, Tom, at the bottom of your screen, you should have video. It should be from um, left to right at the bottom of your screen, audio and then video. And then if your video is not working when you toggle that video, there's a little caret that points upwards, and you should be able to select your camera from there.
Yes.
It is saying unrecognized camera.
Oh,
Okay, it might, sometimes it's a hard reset for your laptop, but we hear you and you can hear us, so I think that we're good for today. But yeah,
okay, cool.
typically if that's an
I'm
issue,
kind of
you just
ugly
have
anyway,
to.
so it's probably better that I don't turn the camera on.
Yeah, no worries.
Mm-hmm. Perfect. Well, we'll give everyone a few more minutes to join and then we'll get started. But yeah, keep dropping in where you're from. I see a lot of my Ohio advisors on here, so go ahead, share all of that. That's awesome. You got folks from California, PNW, Kansas, Michigan, very fun.
Alabama.
Canada, Wisconsin, Alabama, yay, that's awesome.
Colleen from Hawaii.
Ooh, Hawaii, very cool. We got Texas, Oklahoma, Nebraska, very cool. Yay, Indiana, Louisiana, very cool. Alrighty, well, we'll go ahead and get started. As folks keep coming and joining, we'll be sure to let them on. But thank you all so much for being here. This is our first of a quarterly series of our advisor roundtables, and we'll get right into our agenda today. So today we'll be covering a few different topics. I'd love to introduce to you all our new incoming international board, as well as some of the staff members that help make sure CKI runs all throughout the organization. Then we'll get into a few announcements and some updates from the organization as a whole. And then we'll actually have an opportunity to have breakout sessions where you all can talk as advisors with advisors from all around the world and all around CKI and talk about some of the strategies and challenges that your clubs may be facing and hopefully figure out new ways that we can address those issues. And then we'll talk a little bit about some resources and some upcoming events that we have for the upcoming school year. But yeah, so to start off, this is our Circle K International Board. My name is Neha, and I'm honored to serve as the international president for the organization. I'm originally from the Ohio district, and I'm a student at The Ohio State University, where I am studying operations management with minors in public health and the Dean's Leadership Academy. And I've been in the Kiwanis family for 9 years now, so I actually got started in Builders Club. I always like to tell this story. I didn't initially know that I was what Builders Club was. I thought we were going to be playing with Legos, and found my way involved in service. And in my middle and high school was actually connected, so I was very involved with our local Key Club, and we did a lot of projects, which was very exciting. But I got to move on into Key Club, and I served at the district level, which is how I got to see CKI. And since then, I've been involved within the organization, especially at Ohio State. It's one of the largest universities in the U.S., so I wasn't sure if I would join CKI right away, but I quickly found my home and my friends and family there. And I previously served as the Ohio District Governor. And then last year I served as the International Vice President for CKI. So it's been incredible getting to connect with lots of our students, but also lots of our advisors and supporters within CKI and the Kiwanis family. And I'm very excited to serve as president this year. And then here's a few of our other board members. A few of them are actually on the call, and they can say hi in the chat as well. But we're very excited that we have this great slate of board members, all from different districts, and bringing in unique experiences to help support our districts, but more importantly, support our clubs. So that's a little bit about our board. And if you're not familiar with our structure, so we have these board of trustees that counsel different districts. And so these are kind of the districts that they work with. So if you ever need help beyond just your district level, and if it's a question that maybe staff isn't able to answer, you're more than welcome to go to your international trustee. They support different districts of different sizes and, different strengths. So we love that our districts are able to connect together as well. Now I'd like to turn it over to some of our staff members on the call as well. So we have lots of great, amazing staff that help support CKI and kind of work on the operations side of our organization. So I'll turn it over to them to kind of introduce themselves and share anything fun that they want to do. Josh, do you want to go first?
How about you skip me? I'm just trying to get somebody into the room, and
Yeah.
I'll follow up after.
No worries, Sam. Do you want to share anything? Or we can
Hi
go to Michelle.
everyone, I'm
Whoever wants to.
Sam.
Oh, go
I
ahead.
am the program specialist. I support the board and all of CKI. So if you ever have any questions or need to know a logistical question, please do not hesitate to reach out. But yeah, we're here to support you, and thank you so much for being here, and thanks for all that you do.
Hello, everyone. I'm Michelle Shilton, Kiwanis Youth Programs Director. So I get to help support all 5 of our club lines and help move that continuum, like Neha said, from K Kids to Builders to Key Club to Circle K. Just want to say thanks for all that you guys do to help support our students in Circle K International. Thank you.
All right, Josh, are you ready?
Sure, I can go next. So hey everybody, I'm Josh. I'm the CKI director. Thank you so much for being here. I just wanted to mention as well that whether you've been on one of these calls or not before, you all as advisors, club advisors, and I know that there's a number of DAs on the call too, but speaking specifically about advisors, you're so important to our CKI clubs and supporting them year over year. Students are only in at college or university for so many years, right? And we really appreciate you as being that kind of bedrock of each of the clubs year over year. So thank you for being here and taking the time out of your evening to be with us.
Hi, I am Michelle Studi Campbell. I have the pleasure of serving as the executive director for both our Kiwanis Youth Programs and Service Leadership Programs. I know this is an incredibly busy week for many of you as universities and colleges are heading back into session soon, if not already. So I want to say thank you for making time for Circle K International, not just tonight, but every day as you support our students, fellow advisors, and administrators in the work that we do. And so we couldn't be happier that you're with us this evening and with us throughout the year. And I'll turn it back over to Neha. Thank you.
Perfect. Thank you, guys. And like we said earlier, if you ever need anything from staff, feel free to contact them. They're very supportive and they love to help make sure our advisors and our clubs are the best that they can be. But we'll keep on moving if it moves. So we're just going to get into a few updates before we turn it over to you all to share a little bit about your club. So just last month, we had our international convention, and this was an incredible experience. I've been to quite a few international conventions throughout my time, both in Key Club and CKI, and this one was just incredible. It was one of the highest attendees at CKI for the convention, and we had multiple districts represented at the event. It was also a combined event with Key Club, so this was a great marketing opportunity for us to really show Key Club members that if they're looking to continue service and they're going to college, CKI can be that next step for them. So it was a great experience. And we also had really competitive elections and high attendance. So it was a great event. And we'll be sharing more information about convention for 2027 very soon. Next, we also approved some business at our annual House of Delegates. So we adopted 3 amendments unanimously. The first one was focused on membership growth through supporting a multi-year dues option, which is also known as lifetime membership. So with this amendment, students can pay a certain number, I think it's 120 for tier 1, and that value carries their entire experience within CKI. So this is a great way to really promote that membership retention and help students kind of get involved with CKI for multiple years. We also simplified some language surrounding different district officer positions since we understood that different districts are organized differently and have different needs. Then we also passed an amendment supporting a global district. So currently our bylaws state that districts or clubs that are not within a district are in this non-districted space. And so to better promote, our resources and give them that connection to international, we created a global district, which will kind of be a space for all of those clubs that aren't within a certain district. They can all come together and have leadership and be able to stay more connected to international. And these amendments are pending Kiwanis International Board approval, which will be coming in October. Another opportunity for you all, we have committees. So part of the international board is setting that strategy for the year and determining how we can best support our clubs. But our committees are the way that we get those projects done. So we have 5 committees that are led by each of our 5 trustees. And we'll be sure to share the link in the chat so you all can share those committee applications with your students. But we're really looking at focusing on membership growth and retention through these committees. So they're focused on different member benefits that we offer and really promoting those so that our students can take the most advantage of all of the lovely things that we offer in CKI. So these are 5 committees. As the vice president last year, I got to work directly with the committees. So I'm very excited about these initiatives that we're continuing to have with the committees. And we're also very excited for the Personal and Professional Development Committee, which will be featuring some of our alumni and including them in some of our programming. Since we noticed that a lot of CKI members at convention really highlighted that they wanted, more connections with Kiwanis and more professional development opportunities beyond, just their career, like what's next after CKI, with joining Kiwanis, but they wanted to hear more about opportunities that Kiwanians have and CKI alumni have within their personal and professional careers. So very exciting there. We highly encourage you all to share this application with your students. It's a great way to get involved beyond, the club level, and we'd love to have as many students from various districts and clubs represented on our committees. Another great initiative that we had was the Give a Day to CKI Service Hour Challenge. So this was a multi-month challenge that encouraged our members to give 24 hours of community service to their local communities. It was a great event, and at the end of June, so a couple months ago, we reported that we have 55,000 hours of service as an organization, which is incredible. And we also had a friendly competition amongst our districts and our clubs to see, how many clubs and service hours that they're attaining. And so here you can see the leaderboard, New Jersey, Florida, and Philippine Luzon were really leading us in this competition. And then we have several clubs that also did a great job. And part of how we track this information is through the club submitting their monthly report form. So if your students aren't already familiar with that and utilizing Kiwanis Engage to submit this data, we have a lot of resources and can help make sure that they know exactly how to do that so that we can continue to document even more service hours. But it was a great competition, and we're also looking at launching this again in the spring semester, since we know that as folks are coming back from holiday break, it can be hard to get involved with service, even just within the colder months as well. So we're really hoping that we can use this as a recruitment push too, and continue to do service throughout CKI. So something new that we are also looking at is the CKI Leaders Call. So this will, similar to how this advisor roundtable is a gathering of all of our advisors to kind of talk about what's working for CKI and maybe what challenges are we facing within, our clubs and our districts. This is a similar space for our club leaders and district leaders to kind of talk about what's working for CKI and what can we do to support each other as we continue to push for membership recruitment and retention. So this will be the 3rd Wednesday of every month from 8 to 8:45 p.m. Eastern Time. And right now we're doing a fall push from September, October, and November. And depending on how successful it is, we'd love to continue this within the spring. But right now, we're looking at this program being in the fall semester, since we know that as students are getting back to campus, this is the prime time for recruitment. It's the prime time to talk about what strategies are really working. And the goal is really just to connect all 3 layers of CKI. We recognize that every club within a district is different, and every club across our organization is different. So we're hoping that this can kind of create a space, especially for, e-clubs or maybe clubs at community colleges or HBCUs. Those students can all kind of connect together and talk about what's really working for those campuses. So feel free to scan this QR code. We'll also drop the link in the chat as well and share it with your students. You all as advisors are, of course, welcome to attend, but we're looking for a space to connect all of our students together and help them, really, really make sure that they're prepared for recruitment on CKI. But with that, I'll kind of give it a pause. Does anyone have any questions or anyone have any thoughts on any of these things that we've been talking about so far? We all good? Okay, perfect. We'll keep going then. So just a little look at how we're doing as an organization. So here is our historical membership numbers as of the end of each year. And this number has been updated as of our reporting that was published last Friday. So you can see that we're still a little bit behind last year's numbers, but it's been speaking to a lot of our district leaders. It's clear that we have a lot of clubs in formation and a lot of new charters that are coming in. So one way that you all can support as advisors is if you know of any clubs that are getting built within your district, maybe reach out to some of those advisors or connect those students leaders with students at your campus and maybe create a support system or a peer-to-peer mentorship system so that those students can kind of connect. Because we want to make sure that our new clubs coming in are familiar with the resources that our existing and established clubs have as well. But we're pretty optimistic with our membership numbers. A lot of our districts have a lot of good plans for those new charters, but we want to make sure that once those clubs are chartered, they have a great support system once they're coming in. So feel free to reach out if you know of any clubs that are being built in your area, or you can reach out to us if you'd like to get involved. And then here's just a look at where we were as of last year around this time. So you can see again that we're still on the up. We're still kind of building out those new clubs and recruiting those more members. And also remember that membership does not stop, after that December 1st deadline. If you have students on your campus that are looking to join CKI right away, for example, if they want to apply for an international committee, they do need to be a paid member. They can still pay membership dues and kind of be part of CKI even earlier. So, make sure that those incoming freshmen know that they have an opportunity to continue to pay and continue to be part of CKI, so that they can take advantage of all the benefits that we offer. And then this is just a reminder, as of, our House of Delegates amendment 2 years ago, we passed a multi-year dues increase to really support the organization financially and make sure that we're able to, offer all the programs and leadership opportunities that we do, and making sure that we can afford those things. So part of that is membership dues or how we sustain that. So as of next year, as in this fall, membership dues will be 44 USD per member for tier 1 and 14 USD for tier 2. And remember that we have a ton of resources to help support membership dues. We recognize that, that can be a challenge for members. So it's important that all members know of the resources we have to help offset those costs. So we have a new partner with Givergy that can help support, club-wide fundraisers. We also encourage clubs to kind of offer fundraisers or different ways that members can kind of work towards those dues. And then, of course, utilizing our Kiwanis Family Support. Having, fundraisers together. For example, I know a lot of, Kiwanis clubs have different summer programs where they're, at different events and things like that. I know within my district, we have, CKI members can come and help work like different booths that they're running, and that can help, raise money for the club. So it's always good to have those conversations with your CKI club about, this increase in dues and how they're looking to support their students so that everyone can be part of CKI. And this is just a reminder again, December 1st is our annual dues deadline. That is the deadline for all clubs to pay dues by so that they can remain in good standing. But remember that those numbers and those members that you submit on December 1st does not have to be the end. So if you have someone who comes in January, they can continue to be part of CKI, and you can always add to your roster afterwards. But we're expecting that all clubs have paid their full amount in dues to maintain their charter strength by December 1st. And then just as a reminder, in case, you're unfamiliar, here are all of the great benefits that come with being a part of CKI. There's also a QR code there that can take you to some more information about that. But remember that if you have any students that come to that first meeting and then you don't see them, remind them of all of these benefits that CKI can offer. I think that's the beauty of our organization, is that we hit on so many different things that other clubs just cannot, provide. We hit on the service, we hit on the leadership, the networking, the fellowship, the awards, the recognition. All of those important things are so good so that our college students have that well-rounded experience, and they can get all of that through being a part of CKI. So continue to remind them of all of these opportunities that they have, and make sure that your members are taking full advantage of all of these things. And then just as a heads up, with our Kiwanis Engage system, so this is our new membership portal platform. It replaced Kiwanis Connect in the Membership Update Center last July. And there's two things to note with this. So if you are looking to add more members, which we of course encourage as always, you can continue to do that. You do need to reach out directly to our member services team to generate that invoice for those new students that are looking to pay. And then if you're looking for next year, member services will open up the Engage system to be taking in invoices as of September 9th. So that's when students can go in and start paying for their dues to meet that December 1st deadline. So remember that you can still continue to add members to your rosters as of, this past service year, but also keep in mind planning for next year and making sure that your club is ready and planned to pay all of those dues by December 1st. And then we are continuing to have our Trick or Treat for UNICEF campaign. So as you all know, during the month of October, we look to support our UNICEF USA campaign with Brick by Brick. And also we collaborate across the Kiwanis family for this as well. So it's a great event. We've raised millions of dollars for it. And it's a great opportunity for your students to get involved with, their local K-Kids, Builders Club, Key Club, and the Kiwanis family overall. Yeah, and I see we have a question. Go ahead, Linda.
I just wanted to ask you, I'm from the South. Can I get you to slow down just a little bit?
Yeah,
You're talking really
of
fast
course.
and and I'm just trying to keep up. So I just thought if you could
Yeah,
slow down just a hair, I would appreciate it.
yeah. Of course, of course. Sorry. I'm a business student, like I told you all, so we've been practicing getting in our information out as quickly as possible, marketing especially, always trying to get our clients in as soon as we can. So don't you worry, I'll slow it down. Let me also open the chat just to see if we have any other questions. For context, this presentation will also be recorded, and we'll be sure to make sure the slides and things like that are all available afterwards. Yeah, looks all good here. There's lots of resources also in the Kiwanis store if you all are looking for like brochures or templates for different things. I would also recommend reaching out to your district leadership as well if you're looking for examples of tabling or, what does a good trifold look like, or even what to do at that first meeting. But yeah, let me keep looking here. Okay, this all looks great. But yeah, like I said, if y'all have any questions, just raise your hand. Feel free to, drop it in the chat as well. But yeah, so that's a little bit about Trick or Treat for UNICEF. We highly encourage all of our clubs to get involved. And then like we talked about, Trick or Treat for UNICEF will be supporting our Brick by Brick initiative. So this is an initiative and a service project that we're doing for the country of Cote d'Ivoire, which is in Africa. And it's a really amazing project. It really hits on a lot of our key service initiatives within CKI. Basically how it works is we are fundraising dollars so that this organization, it's called Receptacles Plexicos or something, they'll be taking that money and recycling plastic waste and turning it into classrooms and, creating bricks to create classrooms so that students can remain in school. A lot of times their facilities, aren't the best. Like, honestly, I'm living in a house right now that's 100 years old, and I can't imagine like coming here and taking classes. So it's really important that students have, an exciting environment to attend classes and stay engaged in school. But it's a really great project. It supports our environmental sustainability initiatives. It supports childhood education. The organization encourages local families to participate in, the project. So it's creating employment opportunities for families that might be in poverty. And it's just a great space for children to not only have safe places to learn, but also to, play and enjoy and enjoy their experience in the classroom. So it's a great initiative. We're obviously continuing to keep fundraising for it, and Trick or Treat for UNICEF is a great way to do that. But we do encourage clubs to have fundraisers all year round, and it's a great project to talk about on your campus as well. And then next up, we have CKI Week coming up. So this is a great proportion of our event. It's a great way to market CKI and really bring in those new members. And additionally, it's just a great way to really activate those students who are new to CKI, but also those returning members as well. So this year, CKI Week will be from October 12th through the 17th. And each day we have a unique focus on something that we're really proud of within CKI. So for example, we talk about how we're an international organization, or how, we're all about, kindness and service, but it doesn't have to be large acts of that. So it can be small little things that we do on campus to make our communities and our lives better. And then also talks about the friends and the community and network that we've created throughout CKI as well. So it's a great opportunity. It's also, I love it because it highlights each of our three tenets: service, leadership, and fellowship. And we also encourage you all to really ensure your clubs are promoting CKI Week on their social media pages, not only by tagging us with the at Circle K International and tagging us there, or by using the hashtag #ChooseCKI. And you all can actually get featured on our social media pages as well. So it's a great way to activate those members. Since we know a lot of them come in August and September, this is a great way for them to have pride in CKI and continue that recruitment as we approach our dues deadline there. Yeah, I'll take a pause there. Anyone have any questions on CKI Week or anything that your guys' clubs do to really support CKI Week, or anything anyone wants to share? All good. Rough experts on CKI Week.
I would just second that this is a great time for amplifying CKI, getting the message out there. There was a question in the chat that I can call to everybody's attention in case you haven't seen that. Is there an understanding of why there's a decline? There has been a decline in CKI's membership, and why some clubs succeed and students directly benefit from nurturing growth. So, um, something like CKI Week can help part of that, right? It's the one time of year that we're asking everybody at the exact same time to really amplify CKI, and that means that it's a recruiting tool. It's a time for service. It's time to blast social media. It's still in the first semester of the school year, so it's a prime time for recruitment, but also for retention. I mean, one thing that I think that as a part of your club leadership, don't lose sight of it. It's got to be fun. And so this is a great time to really utilize something, this structure, to do something that's special in your community, in your neighborhood, and at your school, with your students. So just some more things to think about within this week. And CKI is 79 years old as of a month and 7 days away. So a lot to celebrate.
Mhm. Perfect. Anyone else have any questions, or anyone know what their club does for CKI Week? Anything special you all do? I know my club at Ohio State, we don't have too many t-shirts, but we try to get everyone to wear like something CKI every single day of the week. So it's really exciting. And then we also like to kind of do Instagram story takeovers. So we like to do a little day in the life of a CKI member. So it's a great opportunity for our members to kind of highlight the service projects that they're doing throughout the week, and different ways that they kind of represent CKI in their classes as well. But anyone have anything? Yeah, go ahead, Jody.
Yeah, I was the one who asked that question. And
Mhm.
the reason being that, like, I'm all for marketing and promoting. I just think when we have like actual data, like, um, what students are saying are the benefits from using their words and how they kind of see it really helps. Because as a professor and a entrepreneur, like students, surely they do listen, but they listen a whole lot more when their peers are saying how great a club is for these reasons. So I just wondered if you had some primary data from student clubs that kind of speak to what the club means to them and how it's helped them evolve. Like, I know obviously you, Neha, you have that being involved, but if there was other testimonials that you could share with us, I think that would be really helpful.
Yeah, I think that's great. And I think that's something not only that we can do at the international level as well, but I think that's important for our clubs to do as well too, because I think that's something that we kind of overshadow, is we really highlight like the club officers and, district and international leaders. But I think it's so important that we get those member testimonials of, them joining CKI and what it's done for, their experience on campus and how it's kind of prepared them for life after campus as well. But yeah, go ahead, Josh, if you have any more on the data and information side of it.
Sure thing. So what we have done several kind of annual health surveys of the organization, asking students that exact question, and why do you join, why do you stay, type of thing. And what we know from uh, that information, the perception at least is that students join. Number one reason is for service. Now, the reality is that CKI is not the only service organization at a college level. And there's tons of other service organizations that you don't necessarily have to pay dues in order to do service. That service is not the primary reason that members stay based on our survey data. Members stay primarily because of what we call fellowship. I would call that community. Again, it's that fun component, and you're absolutely right, peer to peer. And so we've taken that information at the international layer, and the international board's really thoughtful about how to use that to amplify the organization and get the message out there. The secondary thing of why people stay are the leadership opportunities. No other organization has the robustness of leadership opportunities for a student-led organization, from the club to the district to the international layer. And so that's something. It's this unique culture. It's the friendships that are being created. It's the networking. But on top of that, it's these leadership opportunities that students can't get anywhere else. So that's directly from the students themselves. There's more. We're constantly trying to get more data to make more informed decisions, but that's part of it, at least for, I guess, the context of this call. I see Linda's got her hand up.
Yeah, go ahead, Linda.
Yeah, thanks. I think for any of us that are advisors or DAs and looking for some of those sound bites or marketing to share in our own with our own CKI clubs or on our campuses, helping our CKI members to find the items to share. I know in Michigan, our district board does a great job with our district CKI board does a great job with reels and things that really show how they're standing, what they're gaining from CKI, and being able to share those, the international level too, seeing some of those reels and sharing those into our clubs, on our social, helping our students to have that social media chair in our CKI clubs so that they can continually share those on student pages at the universities, at the colleges. And when they do that, it gives more information from the mouth of the students who are experiencing it to their peers, and inviting and encouraging them to be a part of the value of CKI.
That's great. Anyone else have anything for CKI week, or
I have a
just
question.
continuing to promote it? Yeah, go ahead.
Yes, please. You've talked about data why they're staying in CKI, but has there been any data why they are leaving CKI? I mean, when I was in the 80s in CKI, we had thousands and thousands of CKI members. I left 1986 CKI. I still was CKI as an advisor and assistant administrator and what have you. But you never knew why there has been such a decline, just like the 10 years, not 2018, 2019. There's almost 5,500 students who have left CKI. So has there been any data why, and any surveys, anything like this? Josh, do you have any answer for that?
That's a great question. We've talked about it. That's information we would love to have. It's harder to get, right? You have your members. If you as a member, it's a lot easier to ask them, their perceptions, to survey them. Former members are hard to get a response from. It's hard to track down somebody who's no longer a part of the organization. That doesn't mean it's impossible. So the shortest answer is no, we don't have that information in kind of that kind of data. And we would love to have it. So that's something that we can, I mean, I know the last two boards we've talked about it, and we just don't have it in hand, so to speak.
I know, and this is just our club specifically. I was a Circle K member in the mid 90s, and now I am working at the university and have been recruited as their faculty advisor.
Mm-hmm.
And the first email I get was them telling me they were going to disband from CKI and start their own service organization. So from day one, I had an uphill battle.
Mm-hmm.
And they did give me a lot of reasons. They just didn't have the information. They didn't know what um, those dues were going for. They didn't know like what the benefits were. They didn't have a lot of support from their sponsoring Kiwanis Club. The Kiwanis Club had kind of just got wrapped up in other things. And and once I went to their meeting, these were people that were in Kiwanis when I was in college.
Mm-hmm.
And they're like, yeah, you're right. We've dropped the ball. We need to get more involved and make sure those kiddos know that they're important. They're
Mm-hmm.
going to be doing um, a kickoff for them and getting them pizza. And then they're going to rotate who goes to their meetings and they're inviting them to their meetings again. Um, they just felt like they were and then they had a really bad experience with the Nebraska Iowa governor. Um, and so there just was all of this miscommunication and they didn't know what kind of support they could have.
Mm-hmm.
And so, I mean, literally the whole club, it's been on the University of Nebraska at Kearney's campus. My husband was a charter member for 32 years, and they were going to disband
Wow.
because
Mm-hmm.
they felt like they were alone and they didn't know why they were even paying CKI.
Mm-hmm.
So
With that, I
hopefully
see.
we're on the up. Hopefully.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
May
Go
I
ahead, Linda.
please say
Blinking.
something? I just wanted to tell you, we just chartered our CKI last summer. And
Mm-hmm.
so this year I didn't receive any information, so I didn't really know what to do as far as activities. Like you have these 6 days you're doing something for CKI week. I don't know or didn't have any information on what CKI is doing around the world, how we lead with love, how do random acts of kindness, except just to come up with my own ideas. I do know that during that week, you asked the question a few minutes ago, what did you do? We set up a table in the university center and just
Mm-hmm.
talked about CKI and gave out information about what we had.
Mm-hmm.
But I need ideas. I just wanted to share that with you if I had a moment for
Yeah.
what kinds of activities we can do. I have already lost some people. One of them told me the reason was she just has too much on her plate. She's a member of the band. She's, involved in academics and stuff like that. And she was our club secretary, and I hate to lose her
Mm-hmm.
because she was a really good member. And so I need help, and I really would like to hear from people about things we can do because I want this to be a success. Um, we had a good group come in this year, and I'd like to hang on to them. So
Mm-hmm.
anything you can help me with, I'd appreciate.
Yeah, gotcha. Thank you all for sharing that. I think that's part of why we want to have these roundtables is that so that we can share those ideas. And a lot of times, the challenges each of our clubs are facing are challenges that we might all be facing and things that we all want to share ideas on. I'll also echo for at least talking to some of even the friends that I brought into CKI and a few of them have mentioned that they're not planning on returning, like talking to them about why. Well, for a lot of them, it has been that, they have a lot on their plate or that it's just not a priority anymore. So I've really been working with sharing about all of the great benefits that we continue to offer, especially the benefits of remaining a member of a club for multiple years. Like I'm talking about those leadership opportunities as well as scholarship opportunities and things like that. But I think at the root of it is that sense of community and that sense of belonging and really ensuring that all of our students feel that they have a place within CKI. And that really starts from our club leadership, which is where you all come in as advisors and really making sure that those leaders know that, if we have a student come to our first meeting, we should reach out to them and make sure that they know, like, hey, we're thinking of you. We're so glad you stopped by our club. Following up on those things is really how we can ensure that students know that they have a community within CKI. and really honing in on those fellowship activities. I think that's something that we've really worked on with my own personal club, is really just making sure that it's not always about those service projects or those leadership opportunities, but really just making sure that we have fun, and like that, we're all going out to dinner together, we're all going bowling or hanging out with, the activities our Kiwanis Club is doing, and really just making sure that that's also important too, because we know college students are very busy. Everyone's focused on academics and, getting that internship, getting that job, but CKI is really that space that they can kind of let all of that, go off to the side and kind of hang out with people who are all of different majors, of all of different backgrounds, and really volunteer and do service together as well as hanging out. So yeah, I think you all hit on a lot of great things. And part of when we go into breakout sessions, I think that's a great space to continue this conversation of how do we not only recruit new members, but keep them not only multiple years like we're talking about, but also just within the first couple months, and making sure that, when we get people to leadership opportunities, they don't, decide to not stick around. So I think those are all really great things. And I think that's important that we continue talking about them. But for the sake of time, we'll keep on going so that we all have time for the breakout sessions. Something that we are challenging just as a metric for each club is to kind of the strive for 10 challenge, or grow by adding 10 members to your club. There's no paperwork, no applications or anything like that. But part of this is that we recognize just from looking at our data, that the average size of a club is around 19 members. And when we think about how can CKI continue to have a great impact on campus and really do more service and, continue to show up on campus, we really want to encourage our clubs to be the best and the biggest that they can be. So one of those ways that we're promoting that is by encouraging each club to kind of grow by 10 members. And there's multiple ways, you can kind of do this. We encourage all of our current members to kind of bring a friend. Personally, I've been able to invite a lot of my roommates to come and check out a CKI event or service project that we're doing, or even just stop by a fundraiser that I'm, helping run. Also social media outreach. As you know, a lot of our students are connected on social media. Oftentimes it's how they find out about student organizations, or just see that, oh, other students are showing up to these meetings and this is what they do. So continue to utilize that. Encouraging, membership dues and offering ways to kind of support members so that they know the value of paying dues, but also resources that they can do if that is a barrier. And then looking at some of our online resources for tabling and recruitment as well. And then another opportunity that we talked about how leadership opportunities are a great way to get students more bought into CKI and just encourage them to, have that leadership role and have that ownership of a service project or an organization-wide event or things like that. So the first year ambassador is a great recruitment tool and a great leadership opportunity for those incoming members, to really just encourage them to continue promoting CKI. And part of where this came was the idea that those first year members are in spaces where a lot of other students are that are looking to get involved on campus, right? They're in the dorms, they're in the dining halls, they're in the general education classes and things like that. So really encourage you all, if your clubs don't already have a first year ambassador, think about those incoming students that have already expressed interest in CKI and consider giving them this kind of position. We're also looking at a recognition for the first year ambassadors. So first year ambassadors that recruit 5 new members into CKI can earn this first year ambassador distinction award. It's basically going to be a certificate, and it'll be something that they can celebrate at district conventions and international events, to really just promote our first year ambassadors, encourage them to also promote CKI as well. And then we also have some LinkedIn badges. I personally love that this is a new member benefit. As a business major, they teach us about LinkedIn on day one. But if you're not familiar, LinkedIn is a social media platform that's more professional. It's a way that a lot of students can kind of network with other folks, learn about different career opportunities, and just keep up to date on their fellow students in a more professional setting. So we have a way for students to kind of show off that they're in CKI as well. So it's these LinkedIn badges. It appears on, your page, and it's a great way to really promote yourself professionally as a CKI member. And if you're a leader, it's a great way to show off that too. So you can visit circlek.org/LinkedIn to learn more about that. And it's a great opportunity for our members, just so that they can continue to promote CKI in the professional side. And then as a reminder, we have a new service partner with X Hunger. They are an organization focused on fighting food insecurity. And so what's really exciting is that each of our service initiatives, childhood development, mental health, environmental justice, and food insecurity, now have a dedicated partner that our clubs can work with. If they're looking for project ideas or if they're looking for an organization to fundraise for, this is a great starting point for folks that are looking to get involved with the service projects that we really like to promote. And you can learn a lot more about these on our website. A lot of them are organized locally, so it's a great way for clubs to partner up and get involved in their local community. But yeah, now we're going to turn it over to you all. So we're going to open up some breakout rooms for you all to talk about a few different topics. So obviously continue discussing, how do we promote that retention and really keep the members that we have engaged with CKI. But we'd also like to talk about, how do we maintain communication with our club leaders? As advisors, you want to make sure that you're balancing, making sure that your clubs are prepared, but not doing too much that, you're a student too. So how do you kind of balance out that communication is something that we'll talk about, as well as just inviting students to that first CKI table. What's really attractive or what's really working for your club that is getting students to the table. For example, my club loves to have popsicles, and we like to have a few of our merch and some of the awards we won at district convention. We also love to hold up a little sign that shows the Key Club logo, since a lot of students might recognize us through that. You can also talk about what does that first club meeting look like? What are the things that you do? How do you keep members to show up? Maybe it's having ice cream or having some food, or maybe there's a fun game you're playing or a giveaway or things like that. And then most importantly, all of this circles back to how are you recruiting new members and how are you retaining your current members as well. So you can talk about any of these topics. You can start off by introducing yourselves and then feel free to discuss, whatever you want to share. But we'll go ahead and open up those breakout rooms. And y'all can, and I'll be sure to post these questions in the chat too, so you don't have to take a photo of them or anything. But hello, everyone. Welcome back. It's like we're still getting in. Perfect. Oh, we're all here. Okay, good. So we'll keep going. Just a few minutes. Want to be mindful of everyone's time. So here's a few of our upcoming events and dates to keep in mind. So like we talked about earlier, international committee applications are open and they will close August 24th at noon Eastern time. So be sure to share that with your students and make sure that they apply. It's a great opportunity. It's an incredible way for them to, build off their current club experience and learn more about what the international board is working on. And then as a reminder, CKI is celebrating its 79th birthday on September 25th. This is, again, a great opportunity to talk about CKI's legacy and history with your members, especially if you're an alumni. Make it a priority to kind of come to the meeting and talk about what your CKI experience is like, and a little bit about, why it's so cool that we get to be part of an organization that's almost 80 years old. And then continue to promote CKI Week. And remember that CKI Week, as we talked about earlier with all of the different themes of each day, they're meant to be flexible. They're meant to be what your club needs to really promote CKI on campus. They're just kind of general ideas for how students can kind of participate in them. So remember to keep those, up to what the students would like to do, but there are some guidelines and different service project ideas that they can look for on the website if they need a little bit of help getting started. And then we have a couple of our dues deadlines. I also want to share with y'all the upcoming advisor calls. So like I mentioned at the beginning, this is going to be a quarterly series. So every couple of months, we'll all have the opportunity to gather together and talk about this advisors and how we can best support CKI. So those upcoming dates will be November 17th at 7 p.m., February 16th at 7 p.m., and April 20th at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. But yeah, feel free to take a photo of this. Again, like we said, all of this will be available in the recording. And if, hopefully you all saw the information out on the CKI newsletter. Hopefully that's how you found this call. Continue to look at that for upcoming events. And then here's some of the ways you can stay connected. So continue to connect with us on social media. I would also encourage everyone to check out the website, circlek.org. We have a ton of resources, especially for helping your clubs kind of get started. We know that, planning a service project or planning an event can be very intimidating for when you're doing it for the first time. So check out the website if you're looking for project ideas, or maybe just different kinds of service projects that folks can use. And I know it was mentioned in the chat as well. you can use social media to find service projects too. If you know that there's a need in your community, that's a great way to see how other CKI clubs might have handled that, and look for inspiration for different projects that your club can be involved with. And then if you ever need anything, you're more than welcome to email us. I sent emails out earlier today reminding everyone of the advisor call, so you can continue to use that. Or if you're looking to connect directly with staff, you can email circlek@kiwanis.org for more information there. And like we said, don't hesitate to reach out with any questions or ideas. A lot of times it's things that other advisors might have questions or thoughts on too. So maybe there's a topic that we could kind of talk about more in our next advisor call, and we can make sure to create a space for your club to kind of bring up those concerns as well. And then here is a feedback survey for this advisor call. Like I said, we'll be doing these quarterly, so please leave us any topics that you'd like to learn about or any feedback you have. Also keep in mind to slow it down. Thank you all for sharing that with me. I want to make sure that this is an accessible event, so thank you all for letting me know about that. But continue to stay connected with us, and we hope to see you all at a future advisor call in the future. So we'll get this link dropped in the chat as well, but you can also scan the QR code if you'd like to do that as well. But thank you all so much for joining. I know we're 1 minute over, so I want to be mindful of everyone's time, but we'll keep the Zoom room open if you all have any questions or anything like that. But thank you all so much for attending. And thank you for everything you do for CKI and for the Kiwanis family. It's truly such an amazing opportunity as a student to get to work with my advisors, and just seeing all of you guys gather here today is incredible. And we're very grateful that you all are involved with CKI, and also looking to learn more about how you can be the best advisor that you can be by coming to these roundtables and these events like this. But this was my first official webinar as international president, so I appreciate you all and your flexibility with this event. Since it's my first time, but yeah, I look forward to seeing you all at the next event. We'll go ahead and drop the Zoom link for that as well. But please leave me any feedback. I want to continue learning and making sure that this is a good experience for you all as well. But yeah, I'm so grateful for you all, and I'm really appreciative of that. But that's all I have. Thank you all for joining, and have a great evening. And we hope to see you on November 17th. But that's all I have. Thank you all. Bye-bye.